morning. It's Friday, July 22nd, and I want to talk today about an issue that truly hasn't been solved yet. And I'm talking about the baby formula shortage. Now, you all know that Abbott Labs, which was a major producer of baby formula for this country, they produced, I don't know, something like 60-70% of the formula. And then at some point during the last year or so, it was discovered that their plant was basically unsanitary. And I won't give you the exact definition because I don't understand it. But it was unsanitary, and so they had to shut the plant down, which created the initial baby formula shortage. Now, baby formula is a very tricky business because there are many different situations which parents and children get into that affects the baby formula. Many times there are allergies that the young children have, and they can only take a certain type of formula. And then there are situations where the parents, for whatever reason, can't breastfeed the baby. If a woman is working 8-10 hours a day on a job, she doesn't have time to breastfeed her baby. Or there are some women who prefer not to breastfeed their babies. But for whatever reason, baby formulas are very important, and it's a very diverse business. So when Abbott went under, President Biden issued an order and ordered 40 million bottles, 8-ounce bottles of baby formula from countries around the world. And those bottles have arrived somewhere, but the shelves are still not fully stocked. Now we have situations where people need to drive miles to get baby formula. That's a particular situation that exists in certain parts of this country where we have farming, and we have women working on those farms. And I found out by doing my research that many of the women farm workers are in this country illegally. They are undocumented and they're in this country, but they have babies and have to feed the babies. And they have to drive long distances to get the formula, if in fact they can find a place that has it on the shelves. So this baby formula problem, has a myriad of avenues in which to look at. And in fact, there were two companies that were formed to provide baby formula after Abbott went kaflooey for a while. And these companies had a model that was different from the Abbott model, which is selling to all the retail stores. These companies were getting baby formula or manufacturing their own baby formula with special ingredients or not so special ingredients. But anyhow, they were acceptable. These ingredients were acceptable to give your children. But they didn't go to retail stores and stock the shelves in those stores. What they did is they created a subscription program. So if you were a new mother and you needed to get baby formula, you signed up with these companies, these two companies, and I think there's a couple of others that are on the horizon. You signed up and you took a baby formula subscription. And I don't know how long that subscription runs for. I don't know if it's a year subscription or 2-year subscription. And these companies were prepared to produce regular, standard, 100% baby formulas. And in some cases, they also had special formulas for children who had special needs like allergies and things like that. But it was a subscription service. And if you didn't have a subscription, you couldn't get baby formula from them. And you know what? Within 3 months, they sold out all of their subscriptions. Now, the reason they have a limited amount of subscriptions is because they can only manufacture a certain amount of product in a certain amount of time. So if you weren't one of the lucky ones that got on to these subscription services, then you're stuck trying to rummage around on the store shelves. Now, the subscribers to these services, to these baby formula companies, are paying much more for their baby formula than somebody who shops in the store. Because if you go into the store, a day's supply of baby formula, which is roughly about 36 ounces or so, 32 ounces, whatever it is, something like that, costs $2.50 if you're buying it retail in the store. But if you're going to a subscription service, It's costing you $7.50 a day. So obviously, the people who are subscribing to these subscription services are probably more well-heeled than the farm workers who have to drive 30, 40 miles to get to a grocery store or something to get their formula, and it's not always on the shelves. So while we went out and purchased 40 million bottles of baby formula, they're still not on the shelves, and they're still not readily available to anybody, anywhere, anytime. And that's a shanda. That's a shanda. It's a shanda because we allowed Abbott to get us in this particular situation in the first place. But then I guess when you look at the world of business, people are not going to invest in something unless they can turn a profit quickly. And so anybody that decided, gee, I ought to go into the baby formula business, and then recognize the fact that they got to have a plant to manufacture this product. And this product is closely watched by the FDA, and many different formulas are acceptable. And then you have formulas that are special for special needs and dietary conditions that some babies might have. Many babies are lactose intolerant, and they can't take formula, and they got to use a special blend in order to survive. And we have to recognize that. And so we are sitting here right now with a dilemma that hasn't been really solved yet. And you probably have a fair amount of baby formula stockpiled somewhere, which hasn't gotten to the store shelves yet. But this is another symptom of the things that are happening in this country. Because somebody should have realized a long time ago that there might be a disaster at the Abbott plant. And what would have been wrong if Abbott had said, we're going to manufacture baby formula in 3 or 4 different locations, so that if one plant has a problem, we're still manufacturing. But everything they're doing was in the plant, and I think the plant was in Wisconsin or something. Everything was being done in that one particular location. So when the unsanitary conditions arrive, we're dead in the water. But there's hope. There's hope because there's millions of baby formula bottles coming soon. And maybe those poor people who work on the farms won't have to drive so far. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they had baby milk delivery trucks or something like that to handle this situation? Maybe the truck would come to the farm one day a week and everybody would get their baby formula. Or they went to many farms and did that thing. I don't know what the answer is. All I know is that for a great country like ours, baby formula is a disaster that should not have taken this long to be solved. And it's not yet solved. So I leave you with that today. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.